Oh, I think I got him. Oh, we got him. Look at that. There he is. Okay. Oh my God, it's a beautiful fish. Nice one too. Goodness gracious. Oh, he came off. Oh man, that was a beautiful fish. Just came off too. That's a big one. See if we can't get him again. This pool looked like it had potential, and it sure did. Thought I was hooked on a rock. That's how big the fish was compared to what I'm used to seeing in these little skinny creeks. For those of you out there that are hooked into a fish in an area like this, what are the chances of them coming back and biting it again in the same area? I feel like it's 50-50. Maybe the percentage is lower. Leave a comment below if you've ever had a fish strike in a pond, in a pool like this, and have them come back after popping off and come back and bite again. Oh, we got a stick. Thought I had a fish, but we had a stick. Yeah, it just feels like once they get into something and they get spooked, obviously they're not going to want to hang around to see what it was again. But when they're hungry, they're hungry. Common sense tells you they probably wouldn't come back for it again, but fish aren't the smartest on the planet. But we're going to give it a couple more casts and then we'll move on. That one ran right up into the rocks, and I was trying to reposition myself to get where I could land it, and it popped off. This is the Little East Fork River, is what this is. And Canton, North Carolina. Also, the area is located we're in is called Cold Mountain. Caught a tiny little palm-sized brownie yesterday, and this one that I hooked into today, just from what I could see when it was jumping around, was at least 2, if not 3 times the size of that fish that I caught yesterday. I'll drop a little picture of what I caught here yesterday. Oh, I think I got him. Oh, I saw him underneath the rock. Oh yeah. Here he is. Little guy. Oh, got him. Look at that. Oh man, what a beautiful fish. Absolutely stunning. Threw that right at the edge of that little creek point, up underneath that rock, and there I saw him eat it. Just absolutely beautiful fish. I love doing this. Just absolutely beautiful. All right, let's get him back. I just barely hooked him in the mouth here. There he is. This is the fly that I'm using. It's got like a little bit of purple on the back. Just like done the trick yesterday. That's actually what I caught the little brownie on yesterday. Let's get one last look at this beautiful fish. Come on, buddy, I'm getting you back in your spot. There he is. Okay. Absolutely beautiful. God, I love doing this. Once again, it's a Little East Fork River in Canton, North Carolina. And that just made my day. So much fun. Let's see if we can get another one. That fish was, see this little spillway right here? He was right up underneath that rock, right at the edge of that spillway. I let my fly drift right up to it, and I could see him tail it. And he grabbed a hold of it, and he got a nice little hook set. Doesn't get much better than that. Let's see if we can't pull another one out of there. Just gonna let that drift back a little bit. Right about to the edge. This pool looked like it had potential, and it sure did. I'm glad that I stopped over here. This has to be absolutely one of my most favorite things to do, like right up there at the top of my list. I mean, I could do this all day if if my wife or I didn't have to work, and my wife would let me. Like, I just love doing this. It's so much fun. I mean, listen to the water run behind you, and just, it's a beautiful day up here too. Temperature is nice and mild. I think it's like, what, 70, what does it say here? 76 degrees, which is a little bit warm actually, but we're almost at it's almost noon, so man, it just feels so beautiful up here. The air is crisp. I gotta head back to sunny Florida tomorrow, and I'm not looking forward to that. Do we have another one? Or do we have a rock? Oh, it's popped out. It was in the same spot as that other one, but it was hung up in a rock. Alright, I think we're gonna head upstream now. I'm gonna head back upstream and try that hole that I pulled that other little one that I didn't land, but I hooked into earlier. See if he's still around and maybe willing to bite again. So, full disclosure, obviously I'm still a novice. I mean, look, this is only like, I don't know, maybe a little bit less than a dozen times that I've done what I'm doing right now. So obviously I have a lot to learn. Some of you guys in the comments on my last video, which was actually from an old video that I posted just maybe 2 or 3 years after I originally shot it, said, hey, you should be fishing upstream. And well, I didn't even know that. I mean, I feel like an idiot for not doing my research before I started, but either way, the comments were helpful, giving me a little bit of guidance on what I should be doing. The approach of the fish, obviously they're facing upriver or upstream, which makes perfect sense. They can not see you coming as easily. So I started doing that, and so far it's worked. Although today my approach was from, I was facing, they would be facing me on that last fish that I just caught, but I was, based on where I'm at, it's kind of where I had to be. But it didn't hurt because I still caught a fish. So, but I am trying to use the advice I've been given and, what did I just do here? And fish properly as far as fishing upstream. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to work my way upstream from where I'm at right now and see if we can't maybe make another surprise on that one fish that I hooked into earlier. Trying to find these little pools that might be holding some fish. Any other advice that anybody has, I'd be welcome to take. I like constructive criticism. As long as you don't tell me I'm a goon or whatever, or a goober. I'm just trying to figure it out, but I sure do love doing it. And definitely would be more successful if I had better understanding what I should be doing. Also the fly, you know, like I'm trying to pick a fly that represents or resembles what's hatched around here right now, but I don't really know for certain. But the flies that I've seen flying around, I tried to pick a fly that kind of was close to that, so that's where I landed. And it's funny, the one that I thought would work better didn't work at all, and as soon as I switched to this particular fly that I have on now, I caught the fish yesterday, and now I've caught 2 fish on it, so something tells me that it's what they want to see. And I think I'm hooked in a rock. Let's see if I can get out of it. Yep, got out. Sweet. Trying to get up to this little pool right in front of me here. See something's holding up in there. The only problem I see with the retrieval coming towards you is it floats a lot faster towards you, and you've got to work with it a little bit more, obviously. That was a good cast. Trying to get a little bit more length out of my cast. That's another thing, if anybody has any advice on casting, I definitely am a novice in that respect, but I'd be happy to take any advice in that category as well. Not just the approach, but the casting and everything. But so far it's, look, if you're catching fish, maybe you could catch more fish, obviously you're doing better, but I feel like if I'm catching fish, I'm doing something right. Just for anything in life, you might not do it exactly the way it should be done, but if you're having results, even if they're not the best results, they're still results. But I'd like to increase my productivity by learning a little bit more and doing it the right way. Alright, I think I've worked this spot enough. I'm going to get one more pass here and then I'm going to move up a little bit higher. Oh, do we have a fish or do we have a rock? We have a stick. One thing there's no shortage of in creeks is sticks. That's another thing, it's just such a challenging way to fish because there's so much stuff to get hooked onto. Rocks and trees and twigs and all kinds of stuff. I do like the challenge of having overcome all those obstacles and still land a fish. I mean, it's pretty gratifying when you can overcome all that and still be successful. Oh, caught my rod. I'm gonna fix this and move over to somewhere else. All right, this is the next little pool just above where I was just at. Let's try this pool. I feel like maybe I'm casting too much too. Should I be casting less? I know the objective is to get it where you want it. I feel like am I leaving the fly in the water long enough for the fish to feel like it's natural? Obviously that's the objective. Maybe if I cast it better, I could be more accurate, obviously, and wouldn't have to cast as many times. One way to look at it, obviously. Because if I'm casting too often in the same area, it may spook a fish that's, you know, already skittish. Obviously, you don't want to do that. Let me try this little pool here to the right here. A little bit calmer over here. Maybe something's hiding out in there. They do sure do a good job of camouflaging themselves. Like, I only saw that fish that I caught a minute ago because it tailed up whenever it went through my fly. But man, they lay up really good. You can't see them. They're very good at camouflaging themselves. Try over here. Try this little rapid over here. A little bit more of snap in my wrist on that, felt like it laid flatter. Oh, do we have the fish or do we have the bottom? I think we have the bottom. Now let's try that pool that we caught that, well, I say caught, had hooked a fish earlier and didn't land. Let's see if he's still in there. He's still willing to bite. If I don't fall in first. That's not a challenge, man. It's like wading through the water here and trying not to fall in. That's just in itself is a tricky task, especially if the rocks are really slippery. He's got to be in there somewhere, still hungry. That's a good sized fish, actually. It was twice the size of the one I just caught. 3 times the one I caught the other day, yesterday. I feel like something just splashed right by that rock where I just dropped it back in. I can't tell though. Let's see if I can leave it here for a second. That rock right in front of me, about where the fish broke off. It's got to be in here. I know he's in here. It's just a matter of if he's wanting to try his luck again and bite this fly. Perfect little pool. I know it's holding fish. Just get that one to come bite it again. Let's take you underwater where this fish was living. I feel like this video should be like an ASMR video or something. Just not catching that many fish, but it sure is beautiful. Especially listening to the water run instead of my mouth running. I feel like a little bit more wrist snap is helping me line it out a little bit straighter. Not so much of a swooping motion. Snap at the very end seems to lay it a lot flatter. Maybe I'm teaching myself as I go here. Learning through trial and error. Oh, what do we got, a rock? That's the story of the day, man. Hooked in so many rocks. As soon as I get up there to it, it pulls right out, usually. Let's get this one out. What color float line should I be using? Does it matter? Does it depend on the type of water you're in, or the type of fishing or the fish you're targeting? That's something I have no idea about. You know, you buy a, let's be honest, I did not go out and spend $1,000 on a package. This is like if you've seen my other video, I have this really old basic fly rod that my dad just had as a spare that I started using. But this is a Redington Path. It's a 9-foot 6 weight, which is probably a little heavy for what I'm doing. I think from what I understand, I should be probably looking for more like a 3 to 4 weight, but you can help clarify that for me. This I'm not thrilled with. This Crosswater Redington reel, it's plastic, which I'm not thrilled with, so I'm going to be replacing this. I do like this rod though, it feels good, but I feel like I could maybe do something a little bit lighter weight. But yeah, this came pre-loaded with backing, float line. I just don't know what color I should be using. Does it matter? If it doesn't, then I guess I'll just leave this on here until it gets icky. But this float line tends to, from my experience at least, last a long time, as long as it does, you clean it real well. Yeah, I mean, drop a comment below and let me know what I should be using, because I have no idea. If it doesn't matter, then maybe that's the way I'll go. But I definitely want to get a new reel, but that's another thing I'd like to ask is, like, what do you recommend for a good reel that's not super expensive? Because look, I only do this, I don't know, maybe, I'd love to say once a year, but we're not even coming up here this often. So we used to come up here more often, but just, you know, life's busy. So I don't want to spend a ton of money, but I also want to have decent gear. Like the complaint I have with this reel is, since it's plastic, it flexes a lot, and sometimes the line gets pulled through right here and doesn't want to, like, I have to pull the thing apart and like move it, which is not good. So I want something that's more sturdy, but also don't need anything crazy. And now we're hooked up on the rocks again. Let's get that pulled out. Yeah, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think I should be using for a reel, because I'd like to say maybe this is unrealistic. I'd like to be in the $100 price range. Oh, we just got the fly out. Because I mean, I don't remember exactly what I paid for this rod reel combo, but I want to say it was like 200 bucks or something. Which, you know, that's, look, you get what you pay for. I get that. But I also, like I said, I'm a novice. I don't do this that often. I just need something that works. I don't need to be setting records. Yeah, I'm glad I got that fly out. I was running, gabbing about the reel. One less thing to have to pull out of the rocks. Last time we got stuck, I had to move the rock to get it out, but I still have my fly. I don't have to tie anything new on. Tell you what, this creek was not disappointed. This thing is beautiful. No matter how few or how little the fish are in it, it's a very cool little creek. Oh, another rock? Come on, man. As soon as I like let it float for too long, then fix my line or whatever, it's like gets hooked up into a rock again. There we go. If patience is the name of the game for today. Just be patient and it'll come out. Let's try this little pool right here. Sun's shining on it. Got a lot of heavy tree cover though around me. You gotta be careful. Got that right up against that rock there. I was hoping that something can come off of that rock and see it. Oh my god, the camera was off and I had a fish bite it, and I went to go, it's always when I go to retreat, like pull the fly out of the water to throw it again, is when the fish bites it. This one, yeah, I turned the camera off just to save the battery power. In natural fashion, the dang fish hit it right as so I turned it back on thinking he was still on there, and by the time I got back to the line, he was off. It's all right. That was pretty cool though. So as I was just saying before that though, I wonder if I should change my fly, and I don't think so now. I just had another bite, just didn't get him. Man, he was right in front of me too. Like he popped off right here and I have no clue where he went. They are so fast and so well camouflaged. I mean, unbelievably camouflaged.